Hello and welcome to your twin flame reading for the divine masculine and the divine feminine and the current union energy going on between you and your twin flame. I have Ganesha here with you today. I have some extra obstacle clearing action on your twin flame journey, your ascension path, and everything that entails. And sometimes, let's put you there you're in the frame. Nice. Okay, so I was gonna say that sometimes your twin flame ascension journey is gonna look more like, oh, I'm focusing actually on my finances right now, I'm focusing on my life purpose, and oftentimes life purpose and abundance, finances, all these things go hand in hand. Sometimes it's directly romance and romancing yourself. But when you really keep the overall vision that you have, in your heart and remain true to that, and that is really being in harmonious union with your twin flame, which also means with your whole self and with life. So however that is playing out in your reality, it's safe to follow that next step, even if you're like, how does this relate to me being with my twin flame? But it does if it's what is like feeling the most peaceful, what's going to bring you more peace, and I'd be able to expand that peace in your life. So I just wanted to say that because I feel like that's a thing for you perhaps right now, if you're watching this and drawn to this. So it's safe to just remember that, like, maybe it's even just focusing on reorganizing your kitchen or putting up holiday decorations if that's your thing. Maybe you're setting some boundaries with family members, after years of putting up with XYZ, or maybe you're growing even closer with them. Whatever that looks like for you, just know that that's not separate. I mean, think about how much energy and investment, different relationships in your life require. So that's certainly also related very directly or indirectly or both to your twin flame journey again. So don't underestimate those other kinds of action steps that you're guided to take, or inner work that you're guided to do, like the mirror exercise, which you can find more info on in Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover by Jeff and Shleah, linked below. And some of my videos also cover it too, I think the first two I ever did, if you want to check those out. So let's get started with the cards. Nature's Whispers Oracle cards are by Angela Hartfield. And then I did include for Sagittarius season, right? By the way, happy Sagittarius season. Happy birthday if you are Sagittarius coming up here. And I included a Notes from the Universe on Abundance card by Mike Dooley. That feels really appropriate for Sagittarius energy to me. And then there is a Crystal Angels card at the very end for us to explore, look more closely at, and so on and so forth. So today we're going to start with the Divine Masculine. I'm feeling that. So let's see what the message is for the DM. Let love be your beacon. So yeah, pretty straightforward. It's just like, is there love here or is there not love here? What's really going on here? And are you being true to love? Are you allowing yourself to be held accountable, or are you running away from being held accountable? And when you just humble yourself and you really just choose to go with the flow of what actually feels good and release resistance to it, you'll just find that you are exactly where you need to be. And feeling good, doesn't mean being lazy and doing nothing, although maybe you do need 10 days to just sit and meditate or whatever it is. But it's not like that. It's just going with the flow means doing the next thing again that we were talking about in the beginning, that's just right in front of you. And also, are you going to take that step and be able to express your feelings when you're guided to, or are you going to resist doing that? And that goes back to that accountability thing too, because ultimately, like, you know, God holding you accountable for something isn't going to look like a report card delivered to your house and being grounded, right? Like maybe there's going to be some kind of contrast playing out in your life, but you don't have to experience contrast. You can just choose, like, hey, you know, I made a mistake before not expressing myself here, or could even just be directly related to your twin flame. I didn't tell my twin flame how I feel about her, but yeah, like, okay, you know, I do have these feelings. So it's just about acknowledging your feelings, but also being honest with how you feel. Maybe you're not really liking your twin flame right now, but if you're watching this and you have that awareness, then, you know, you can do the inner work to resolve whatever is triggering you about them, and that would be your next step. That would be, you know, humbling yourself and choosing to see them as your teacher, or even your ultimate guru, however you want to feel into that, and just be guided basically by God through them. So yes, let love be your beacon. And, you know, if you're the divine feminine, it's like, hey, this is the divine masculine's time to just be guided by love. So you can just, like, accept that and surrender, and maybe stop trying to, you know, control the situation if you have any of that going on. So let's look at the divine feminine's card. Okay, so the divine feminine, it says shift your energy. Well, that definitely speaks to what I was just saying. Ooh, that bird is so pretty. Never really looked at that bird very much in this card before. It's really nicely done. So yeah, I think that kind of speaks to just being as light as a feather, and here's my cat, and just like allowing life to flow through you and releasing control to how things are looking, and just going with that flow, shifting direction when it's time to shift direction. So sometimes something feels good to do for a while. Like, I think I said this before, but it's like, for a while I was making YouTube videos every day, and then at some point it just didn't feel like it was honoring myself to continue doing that. It felt like I was, you know, like, would have really been kind of forcing something. And maybe my channel would grow faster or whatever, but I would be taking from another part of myself, and I wouldn't really be honoring, like, what God was showing me. And so it's just about just that. Like, sometimes you're guided to do something for a while, or even, you know, guided to think maybe someone is your twin flame, and then you aren't sure, or you realize it's someone else, but you still want to, like, hold on to this other person. Or maybe it's the person you thought all along, but you have to, like, kind of completely shift how you thought about them. You know, like, it doesn't really matter what the thing itself is. It just matters that you're willing to go again with the flow and go in that new direction when you are guided to. This can also speak to a shift in, again, like, your life purpose orientation. So maybe you did something for a while, maybe COVID kind of changed how things looked, or maybe something else did. Well, it's safe to just, like, look at, like, what, you know, clues you're getting for the direction that you are going in. And also, you know, sometimes it helps me, like, when I see, well, other people have made this viable for them, have been able to, like, make a career out of this, or have been able to live life in the way they want to, this way or that way, then, you know, that's for me too, and that's for you too. So it's safe to shift your energy in the direction that you actually desire to go, even if you don't know how the heaven you're gonna get there. Yeah, I don't know. It's really, you know, the path to heaven, not hell. But that's just an expression. Yeah. So, anyways, I guess you're gonna get there by basically releasing ego and hell, right? So there you go. There's your answer. So let's move on to the middle cards. So this is gonna be a good one. I always love these, they're fun. And just make sure, if you wanna pause it, you could see it and read it to yourself. I'm going to read it out loud too. When someone is so desperate to have what they want to have, do what they want to do, or be who they want to be, that they'd rather take little, tiny, teensy steps in the direction of their dreams than face one more single day of doing without, I just can't help but open the floodgates. It's my greatest weakness. Was that a step? The universe. So, yeah, go figure. It's a picture of a waterfall, floodgates, it's a nice little analogy there. Very loving card. And, I think it really kind of pokes in a loving way at maybe that feeling of like, oh, am I just like kind of being desperate here, like, by wanting to just be me, because there might be like a childhood upset around that. I think for a lot of folks there is. If you had parents that really nurtured you there, that's awesome. And just however this card resonates for you, it can just even be a matter of just going deeper with your life purpose and accepting, your mastery. If you're already kind of mastered, you're taking it to the next level and expanding. But yeah, it's also safe to feel really mastered, but also feel into those places that somehow still don't feel good and not ignore them because you're like, oh, well, I'm actually doing fine. Sometimes when you're doing fine is when you have that stability to go even more deeply into those places that really need your attention and need love. So either way, it's a win situation for healing and for realizing that that so-called, desperate desire that you have is actually very valuable and valued and worth you having, so it's worth you taking those steps to live your dreams. And I noticed this for me, that it's like not, you have these grand ideas of what you need to do, have this and that and the other thing, like have a whole global roadmap of your business or your love life or whatever it is out in front of you. But the most success I've had so far is really just like a matter of everything compounding upon itself and expanding without really doing something that's like, it's not like a magic trick, it's just like you're just creating wealth because you really desire to share something real. You finally realize that there's something valuable within you and you share it. And maybe you've already realized that in one area of your life and you're realizing it even more in another. And this is like a self-realization process too, and it plays into the process of ascending, and then in turn also becoming closer in union with your twin flame and continuing to harmonize your whole life with your whole self. So however that looks on the outside, just like keep feeling into that barometer of, do I feel peaceful? And it's not, peaceful is different again than like avoidance and numbing out, right? So you get to know. One way to get to know too is to not do things that make you like numb out, right? So basically though, just bringing love and choosing to do the inner work is the main thing that will work just fine for that. It's something special. Anyone can do it. Anyone can feel their feelings. Maybe it's harder for some people than others. But that doesn't matter. Like your journey, however hard or easy it is, it's doable, and that's really what matters. Like there is a solution. You can choose it. You can check out the links below. You can support yourself through coaching and take the next step when you're ready to be like, okay, yeah, I am on my twin flame journey. Okay, yeah, this person is still like in my heart and they're not going anywhere, so I think that it's time to do something about it. Or like, I'm actually already really happy with my person, but I would like to know how to harmonize even more with them, so that I never have to worry about shit hitting the fan. So all of these things are all good reasons to support yourself and go more deeply into the work. And it's taught by Jeff and Shalia too, who are really leaders, the ones who really paved the path for this work. And so they are my gurus, and if you watch their work, you can decide how you personally feel. You can apply what you learn and read the book linked below and see is this true for me? Is this working for me? Because for me it works, and so that's why I share it, because this is the only thing that really works. So that's why. It's not really, there's no other better reason than that. Why would I share something that didn't work? So let's move on to the last card. And it's Tiger's Eye, self-confidence through God-confidence. Believe in yourself by believing in God working through you. I love this card, and I think it speaks to how I was even just feeling, kind of saying all that just now. I'm like, is this coming out how I really want to express what I am saying? But it's just a matter of releasing resistance and trusting love to guide you in the right direction, trusting God to, come through you. And sometimes God comes through you by silence too. So sometimes that looks like taking a pause. And that's perfectly fine too. So just because the God is moving through you, the God, I don't know, God, I don't have to say the God, I could say that. Either way. But yeah, the divine is moving through you, and that can look a lot of different ways, right? That can look like, oh, well, I finally surrendered, and now I notice that I really need to take a nap. Or now I notice that, I need to, do chores. I mean, it doesn't matter, again, what the thing is, but it's just, flowing with what feels good. And then that's how you can actually also help build a schedule and really have more confidence that you have room for all the things in your life in a way that feels divinely ordered, and know that divine order can just shift and grow at any time, like a flower, right? It's not a stagnant thing. So if you have any resistance to more structure in your life at this time, or you're it's already so structured, I can't fit anything else, well, then you might have the opposite thing going on where, hey, maybe it's time for you to look at all your commitments and see if some of those things are truly still serving you at this time. Or, if you have kids and you're over-committing them or not, or you're doing everything just right. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to your parenting style. I know, I know that that's a hot topic, but yeah, I'm just saying, just look at that. Are you controlling somewhere, or is everything, feeling pretty good and harmonious to everyone and everything in your life? And so it's safe to feel confident, feel good, trust the things that do feel good, appreciate them. I mean, we're going into Thanksgiving here in the US. It's a nice theme around, just gratitude, basically. And then with that stability that's there from that trust and gratitude, then you can look at those places that don't feel so good a little bit more steadily and, bring love there, do the mirror exercise, so on and so forth. And so that's going to help you be even more confident, because then you don't have that kind of underlying uncomfortable feeling in your inner foundation in that place anymore. So yeah, that feels good. That was an interesting reading. Boy, oh boy. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect, But it's Sagittarius season now, so I say anything goes. Oh man, Sagittarius season, yeah. A little bit more of a, see how you feel about it. Everyone's going to experience these seasons differently, but there are some themes, and of course, there's a lot of holidays being celebrated around this time, and I don't think, it's a surprise that it's this season going into that, and a little more adventure in your life, perhaps. And I also wrote about that in my latest blog post if you want to check that out. Also, link below. And Venus is in Scorpio, which we just came out of. So then I like how there's also this energy there, you know, of how that fits into it, and more like going deeper into inner truths with your romantic both issues and the good things about like your romantic life. And your romantic life also speaks to you being intimate with yourself too, not just like you and your twin flame, whether or not you know who they are with them, so on and so forth. But it really just comes down to like romance, you know, and getting to know yourself, you know, in that way, and getting to feel good about yourself. And like, it's like, are you willing to, God's like, are you willing to romance yourself here? Are you willing to be intimate with yourself here, right? So it's like that. And it's also about claiming yourself, because Scorpio in Venus has that potential to be kind of like possessive, but that doesn't need to be like a bad thing, right? Like not like being possessed, right? Like so not like that, but just claiming, basically being like, hey, this is me, this is mine, and I'm valuable and deserving, and I deserve to be romanced. So I'm going to romance myself. I'm going to be intimate with myself here, and no one can take that away from you. And that's really empowering, I feel. So yeah, I hope that resonates for you. And that I feel like is going to complete this reading for now. So take care. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't, and you want to just like keep in the loop with readings and other videos that I put out. And yes, happy holidays. I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.